Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I am Mia Zamora, an executive coach and strategic HR consultant of Benchmark Consulting. And it's such a privilege to be here chatting with the first ICF Master Certified Coach of the Philippines and the founder and CEO of Benchmark Consulting, Mr. Julius Ordonez. Hello, Julius. How's your 2023 going so far?
Hi, good evening to you, Mia, and good morning to our listeners. Yes, I would say that I had a restful and reflective holiday break, and so I was really energized during the break, and so raring to make my 2023 the best year ever.
That's so great to hear. By the way, for all our listeners today, we are in three time zones: the Philippines, of course, and the US and Europe. So it's amazing that we can all be together for this chat. I mean, technology is really amazing. So, Julio, since it's the new year, lots of people usually write down their goals for 2023, or they have this mantra, New Year, New Me. But studies show that 95% of these goals actually are abandoned already by the end of January. So, what's your advice? How can we select goals that really stick and that we can work on for the rest of the year?
Yeah, that is actually one of the most frequently asked questions, and I'm sure our listeners can relate very well with this question because, especially during this time that people are making changes in their life, they're setting goals to actually make 2023 a better year for them. And so, you know that as a coach, I help individuals, especially leaders, um, to set and achieve goals.
Mm.
And based on my 23 years of experience coaching leaders, I have observed that when the goal is really compelling and it's a must goal for them, it's not a should goal for them, then they really work hard to achieve it.
Mm.
It's like they are being energized and they're being actually compelled to take action. And so that is the key. Make that goal compelling. And so the question is, how do you make your goal compelling?
Mhm.
So there are many different ways on how to do that. So first is you have to ask yourself, like, what are my most compelling reasons why I must achieve this goal? What is at stake? Like, what is the best thing that can happen to me if I achieve this goal? Or how can this goal actually change my life or change myself? How can this goal impact the lives of other people or my loved ones, my team, my community, my company?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
of course, the flip side is what will you lose if you don't achieve it? What is the worst thing that can happen to you if you don't achieve it? So, in other words, if you reflect on these questions as in deeply, then you will realize why you must achieve the goal.
Mm. So yes, that makes it feel so much more powerful when it's clear to you what the big why is. What makes it so compelling
Exactly.
to you. Yes, because that's true. A lot of people say, I want to lose weight or I want to be healthier this year, but you normally don't think about how it actually impacts the people around you, your family. How will it impact your career as well? So being clear about those things makes it even more compelling and will push you to achieve that goal.
Definitely. So it has to be anchored to the bigger aspiration that you have
Mm.
in your life. Like it has to connect with your life purpose, your life mission,
Mm.
right? So, if, for example, your goal is to achieve work-life balance, so how does this contribute to your bigger why?
Yeah.
If your bigger why is to be the source of light and inspiration to other people, so how can achieving work-life balance be a building block for you to realize that mission, right? And so if you find that connection, then your goal will be more meaningful for you.
That
And if it's meaningful for you, then you will have the inner drive to achieve it. And therefore, it will be more compelling for you, right? And you will feel that, like your body can't deny that. There will be aliveness in your body if your goal is really a must goal for you. Like you are excited just thinking about it. It's like, you can't wait to get started to actually work on it.
Yeah.
So that's a compelling goal.
You feel it in your bones.
Exactly. There will be butterflies in your stomach, of
Mm,
course, right? But the overall feeling is the high energy, high emotional energy, like that excitement to
mm.
actually achieve it.
So thank you for sharing that. What would you say are the common mistakes that people make when setting goals? Or what?
Yeah. So
Wait, yeah.
yeah, of course, the first one is what I've been mentioning about making it compelling.
Mm,
Like people do not realize sometimes about whether their goal is really compelling for them or not. Is it the most important thing that they should be achieving? So that's very common. Second is not actually being clear about what you are trying to achieve. So
mm,
going back to my example, like work-life balance, how does that look like exactly? What does that mean for you? Or maybe your goal is to be confident, or maybe to be assertive, or be a better listener. What exactly does it mean? What is a picture of a success for you? What are the behavioral indicators that would tell you that you have become more confident or even assertive or a better communicator, etc.? So you have to be very, very specific about your goal.
mm,
And second is setting a goal that is not within your control. For example, making this person fall in love with you, right?
mm,
Or maybe replacing your boss. So
mm,
that is not within your control because it's dependent on other people. So what you can work on is something that you can accomplish, for yourself that will eventually lead to what you're aspiring to happen.
mm.
So it could be a skills improvement goal, or maybe something that you need to change in your behavior, right? That can eventually make you a likely successor of your boss,
Right.
or probably that can make you, or that can make the person fall in love with you.
Mm,
So, in other words, make it achievable and realistic. And
mm,
of course, another common mistake is not having a deadline to achieving your goal. Because if you don't have a deadline, then you will forever delay it. You will procrastinate. You will, you will eventually put off your goal because of that procrastination. So those are the most common mistakes, Mia.
mm. So, would you advise that we use the SMART goal framework, that specific, measurable, action oriented, realistic, and time bound, even if it's a personal goal?
Oh, definitely.
Mm,
It applies to both, be it personal or professional. But then again, let's go beyond the SMART formula.
mm,
While it's important for you to be very clear and be very specific about your goal, being realistic or time bound, um, again, going back to what I said earlier, it
mm,
has to be compelling. You have to have that emotional attachment to the goal. Because otherwise, if you're not feeling it, then you will not work on it,
mm,
right? You will always find reasons and maybe excuses not achieving it, correct?
mm.
So, in other words, it's smart, but you have to ask yourself, like, do I feel it?
Yeah,
Is it really in my heart? So that's the key.
it needs to go beyond. Okay.
Yes, it needs to go beyond the SMART framework. And that's exactly what I'm using also when I coach people,
Mm.
like making them realize the compellingness of their goals.
So let's talk a little bit about coaching, because as we know, Benchmark Consulting is the industry leader in professional coaching in the Philippines. So could you give us a brief overview of what coaching actually is, and how can coaching help people in achieving their goals for 2023?
Oh, yes, coaching. It's one of the most loosely used terminology that we have today, right? So let me start by saying that coaching is not about giving advice. It's not about telling or instructing or being directive. So it's actually the exact opposite. It's a non-directive approach where the coach facilitates the thought process of the individual so that the person can think more clearly, so that he can think better. So it's a self-discovery process where the person realizes things on his own. He will come up with his own solutions. He will come up with his own choices, his own possibilities. So it's not about giving fish, but really helping the person look for that fish without telling him what to do. So in relation now to goal setting, because in coaching, being non-directive means that you need to evoke answers from the coachee. But the coach uses a combination of many skills. So it's not just about asking questions. It's also about listening, being present, being, in the zone of the coachee or the client so that you can notice what's happening. Like you can notice the patterns, the pattern of thinking, the pattern of behavior, some emotional shifts happening in that person. And therefore, you can articulate what's going on, what you sense, what you hear, what you feel in the person. And this will create awareness in him, right? So with this kind of awareness, the person can achieve clarity. And oftentimes, with this clarity, he will have an aha moment. So that is what you're going to do in coaching. So given this coaching approach, the person now is led to examine himself, to introspect, like what is happening in my life right now? What is working? What is not working? What is missing? What do I want? What are my aspirations? What's most important for me? So if you have that conversation with a client as a professional coach, normally what happens there is the person realizes now what he needs to actually work on, what he needs to prioritize, what is the most important thing that he needs to achieve. And that is the first part of goal setting. And the second part is, of course, now helping the person achieve that goal, right? Is now moving that person from point A to point B. And usually, of course, it's important that the person knows what he needs to do, the how to achieve the goal, right? So coaching is not just helping the person identify the action steps, but it's really more about clearing the way for the coaching. Because oftentimes people know what to do. If you want to lose weight, Mia, you know what to do. If you want to save money, you know what to do exactly, right? But how come people with these goals oftentimes do not actually achieve it, or they put off that goal? It's simply because there is something that's getting in the way. And what are these? It could be their self-doubt, lack of confidence, some assumptions that they're making, their limiting beliefs, their fears. It could be fear of failure. It could be any fear for that matter. And so that is what coaching is addressing. Coaching is now helping the person overcome this, and hopefully at the end of the coaching engagement or the coaching conversation, the person will think different. He will see things from a different perspective, and hopefully that will also lead to a new behavior, to a new action. And so that is how coaching is actually helping the person set and achieve a goal.
That's why it's so important to work with a professional coach, especially when you have a big goal, because from goal setting to action planning to clearing the way, removing all of the barriers to achieving that goal, your coach will be with you. will help you discover that about yourself, because it's so hard to do it on your own.
Exactly. So there are things that you may not be realizing if you just do a self dialogue,
Hmm.
because there's no one challenging your perspective, right? Because oftentimes our observation is that people have the tendency to have the what I call myopic view.
Hmm.
They don't see the panoramic view. But when a skilled professional coach engages you in a conversation, he can make you see, the panoramic view, the
Hmm.
uncharted territory.
Right. What about for those who are listening today and are curious about becoming a professional coach themselves? What are the steps that they should take? What should they do?
Yeah. So, of course, just like in any profession, you need to have a formal education in professional coaching.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be a doctor, you need to have a medical degree, right? More so in coaching because you're helping an individual set and achieve a goal and become successful eventually. So it's a make or break for you. So you need to have the qualification, you need to have the required competencies, and you need to have the credibility to practice coaching at the professional level. And
Mm.
based on the standards of the International Coaching Federation, which is the global authority of coaching, someone who is aspiring to become a professional coach needs to complete 60 hours of coaching education. And that is exactly what we are offering at Benchmark.
Mm.
We have the longest running coaching certification course in the Philippines. This is the only locally designed program in the Philippines. And to date, we already have like more than 500 graduates of this course. And this is a 3-month, 3-phase program which combines theory and practice. When someone completes the course, he is competent in doing coaching.
Yes, for those of you who want to sign up and become a professional coach, the next run of the ACTP, the Accelerated Coach Training Program, will be on February 21 Philippine time. And for those outside of the Philippines, for example, in the US time zone, it starts on February 20. And it is a 4-month program. So you are still in time to sign up if you want to become a professional coach. So, what can we expect from Benchmark Consulting this year? Are there any exciting new developments planned for 2023?
Oh, yes. For coaches who would like to deepen their coaching skills, they would like to take their coaching to the next level. So we have the advanced coaching certification course. It's actually our third year already in conducting this. And I am actually doing this with the world-renowned coaching guru, Marsha Reynolds. And so the next cohort is in March.
Ah.
And another exciting offering that's coming up is the team coaching certification for professional coaches. We've been training leaders on how to do team coaching, but this time, this is really a full-blown coaching certification course for coaches, practicing coaches who are helping teams become cohesive and high-performing. And we have other programs, so maybe Mia, you can also talk about them.
Yes, we do have a new program launching this year, which is transitioning to a new work environment and culture. So we will be holding a public run for that in mid-February and a full-blown course in March. So it's going to be a 3-hour session on really how can you transition to a new work culture, because there are a lot of things that are unwritten when it comes to that. So we will be talking about those as well. So lots of exciting things planned by Benchmark this year. Coach Julius, we have received some questions online. Some have sent to me as well privately. There's one lady who says, I've had the same goal for over 3 years now, but I just can't seem to reach it. Does this mean it's not meant for me? And what should I do now?
Wow, interesting. Yeah, but you know, there are really times when you feel like the goal is not really for you, or it's not meant for you, or maybe the goal, or maybe it's not yet the right time for you to achieve it,
Mm.
you know? But more than that is ask yourself, do I really want it? How badly do you want to achieve that goal, right? So again, going back to my point, is it really the most important thing that you would like to achieve at this point?
Mm.
And again, looking at your motivation, like how motivated are you to achieving that goal? Do you easily give up whenever you're frustrated because maybe something is getting in the way? Do you have the do what it takes to achieve it?
Mm.
So those are the things that you need to reflect on before even making that conclusion that it's not really meant for you. And also, maybe look at your strategy. If it's not working, then change it. Flexibility is power. You should be able to actually look for other ways to achieving your goal if your action step, if your strategy is not working for you. So
Mm.
remember that there's no one best way to achieving a goal. There are many different ways of actually achieving it.
Yeah, so don't lose hope. Maybe you just need to change your strategy, and
Exactly.
then maybe it can then work for you. There's another
Mhm.
question that came in. This man is asking, how can I still achieve my goals if the people around me are not supportive and encouraging?
Well, just keep going. Your commitment to your goal is not dependent on other people. So, in other words, you have to be internally driven, internally motivated to actually achieving that goal, no matter what, right? But if you feel that you need a support system, or maybe you need people who would be showing you that support and encouragement, then surround yourself with those people. I
Mm.
mean, create that support system. Be proactive. You don't wait people to actually come to you and give you that support. Okay, you initiate it. Ask for help. That's why when you set your goal, you just don't think about it. Talk about it with your friends, with
Mm.
your colleagues, because that's when you actually generate support.
Yes, and then you can find your tribe, the tribe that supports you in achieving that goal. So
Exactly.
this is turning out to be such a an interesting and inspiring conversation. Do you have any last tips for everyone listening today?
I think I've already said enough, right? But you know, if there's really one thing that I would like to emphasize is that, you know, if you really would like to achieve a goal,
Mm.
then focus on the reasons why you must achieve the goal. Don't focus on the reasons why you can't achieve them. Because
Mm.
otherwise, you will find excuses and reasons for not achieving it.
That reminds me a lot of the quote by Friedrich Nietzsche that says, "He who has a compelling why can live through any how."
Oh, yes, you summarize it well, Mia. That's it.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Julius. This has been a great first benchmark chat. For everyone watching, we will be having these chats every once in a while on interesting topics. And the details of these will be published in our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram pages. So please make sure to follow our page on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram so that you will know when to tune in. And we will see you there. So thank you again for joining us. Till next time, and have an awesome 2023. Bye, everyone. Thank you.